Good afternoon. Good afternoon, right? Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Great, great. Well, I'm happy to be here. My name is Mike Gipson. I serve you as your state assembly member. I represent not only Compton, but also part Watts, Willowbrook, where I was born and raised. I also represent Carson, Wilmington, North Long Beach, portion of Linwood, portion of Gardena, and also Torrance. It's comprised of 500,000 people that I'm so honored to represent in the California legislature. But prior to that, I served on the Carson City Council for nearly almost 10 years before I was elected to the State Assembly in 2014. And does anyone know what a member of the state legislature does? No? Oh, so I guess mess you guys' minds. Anyway, so we're responsible for making and setting all the laws that we're now governed under in the state of California. So whatever law you can think of, we govern it. Down from your tennis shoes you're wearing right now, to the belts that hopefully you're wearing, to the caps on your head, to the weave in your hair, to your glasses. We regulate everything in California in terms of laws and regulations. And I mean that sincerely because that's our job. Just a few months ago, the governor signed a few of my bills into law. One of my bills, let me talk about the most proudest bill of my bills that I've ever introduced, was AB 835. AB means Assembly Bill. So that's why I say AB, Assembly Bill, and it was 835. Well, my son was killed at 3 years old in front of my wife. She wasn't my wife then, she's my wife now. And by a hit-and-run motorist. And the lady is still at large today. And so had we captured her, for instance, in 2014, nothing could be done. Meaning that you hit and killed someone, and it was over 20 years ago. The law in California, they had a statute of limitations on hit and run called vehicle homicide. We had a 3-year statute of limitation. What that means is that if the law enforcement did not apprehend you within 3 years, you walk free. Can you imagine? Can you imagine killing or having your loved one being killed and you find them 4 years later and the law in California could not prosecute that individual? Let me put a pin there. Last year, about 2 years ago, we had a statute of limitation on rape, which means that in California, if we didn't catch you or prosecute you within a 10-year period of time, you walk free. I had a woman testify saying that she saw her assailant, the man who raped her, at the gas station that she went to and pumped gas. And every time she saw him, he smiled. Can you imagine someone like that taunting you for violating you? California had that 10-year moratorium, 10-year statute of limitation to simply say if we didn't catch you within 10 years, that person walked free. Even though we may have come up with DNA evidence, even though we may have placed you at the scene of the crime, or even though you may have confessed that you did it, you still walk. Going back to Deontay, my son. 3-year statute of limitations. Vehicle homicide. You kill someone, you walk. So when I was elected to the State Assembly in 2014, that was my first piece of legislation that I authored, and the governor, Jerry Brown, signed that law into existence. And the bill simply says this: you kill someone with your vehicle and you run away to avoid being apprehended and not rendering aid. Aid means calling 911. Aid meaning staying there until police come. No matter how long it takes for us to find you, we will prosecute you to the full extent of the law. So there is no statute of limitation on vehicle homicides today. It doesn't bring back our son. It doesn't make the nightmares even better. It doesn't make one Christmas feel good. It doesn't make a birthday that he would have had feel that much better. But it's not for us, but it's for the families moving forward that will benefit from this bill. Rape, 10-year statute of limitation. There is no statute of limitation off rape. No matter how long it takes, it may take 20, 30, 50 years. And we find you, you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Why is that important? Because victims of rape can never put that nightmare behind them. It will be a constant reminder. The only way that I've heard, because I've never been a victim